The entire history of the United States of America, from colonies to superpower to 2025. In a land of endless forests, mighty rivers, and windswept plains long before the stars and stripes ever waved, people called this continent home. Civilizations thrived here for centuries, their voices etched in the soil, the water, and the sky. The Iroquois, Powhatan, the Lenape, and countless others built societies rich with law, culture, and wisdom. Their stories, their struggles, and their dreams whispered across generations, laying the foundation for the world yet to come. Then came the ships. Sails darkened the horizon, carrying men and women in search of new beginnings. Some sought fortune, some refuge, some a place to live according to conscience and faith. These strangers would ignite a journey that would transform a continent and reshape the destiny of countless lives. This is the story of the United States of America. A story of courage and conflict, of ambition and reinvention, of freedom and its costs. From colonies to superpower, from the first settlers to the modern age, this is a tale of humanity itself. The birth of a nation. In 1607, Jamestown was founded. A fragile settlement on the edge of a vast wilderness, it survived disease, hunger, and constant threat. Every day was a battle for survival, every decision a choice between life and death. And yet, slowly the colonists carved a home from the forest, planting the seeds of a nation yet unborn. Decades later, the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock in 1620. They arrived with little more than hope and faith, driven by a desire to worship freely, to build a community founded on shared values. The first winters were merciless, claiming lives and testing spirits. But through perseverance, cooperation, and sheer determination, they endured. Together, they learned the land, cultivated crops, and forged bonds with those who had lived here long before their arrival. Across the eastern seaboard, 13 colonies emerged. Each was unique, yet all shared common threads: the desire for opportunity, self-determination, and a vision for the future. Trade and ideas flowed along rivers and coastlines, and with them came tensions. Voices of dissent grew louder as faraway kings imposed taxes and laws without consent. And then, one day, those voices united. The spark of revolution flared into a flame that could not be extinguished. In 1775, conflict erupted. Muskets cracked across fields and forests, and cannons roared across the countryside. By 1776, the Declaration of Independence boldly announced a revolutionary idea: that all men are created equal, endowed with rights that no king could deny. It was not just a declaration of war, it was a declaration of possibility, a promise that freedom could be seized, defended, and expanded. Imagine the courage it took to stand against the mightiest empire on earth, armed with little more than conviction and resolve. These early patriots risked everything for the idea that a new nation, built on principles rather than birthright, could endure. The growing republic. Victory came at a cost. 13 colonies were now 13 states, independent yet fragile. The Constitution of 1787 offered a blueprint, a framework to balance power, freedom, and justice. George Washington, chosen unanimously as the first president, navigated this uncharted path, setting precedents that would guide a fledgling nation for centuries. Expansion was the next challenge. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 doubled the nation's size overnight. Lewis and Clark ventured into unknown lands, mapping rivers, mountains, and plains. Pioneers followed, traveling in wagons and on foot, building towns, clearing forests, and forging roads into the wilderness. Railroads and canals stitched the country together, allowing commerce, culture, and ideas to flow like never before. Yet darkness shadowed the light. Slavery persisted in the South, a stain on the nation's conscience. As America grew, the contradiction between liberty and bondage became impossible to ignore. Every new state, every new law, every new conflict carried the weight of this moral dilemma. The question hung over the young republic. Could it truly live up to the ideals it proclaimed? Civil War and Reconstruction. By the mid-19th century, that question could no longer be deferred. Abraham Lincoln emerged, a man of vision and steadfast moral clarity. The nation tore itself apart, brother fighting brother, neighbor against neighbor, fields and towns awash with smoke and blood. 4 long years tested every fiber of the United States' strength. In the end, slavery was abolished and the Union preserved. Yet Reconstruction revealed the long path still ahead. Freedmen struggled to claim their rights, resistance and violence persisted. The Civil War had resolved some questions but left many more unanswered. It was a reminder: freedom without justice is incomplete, and democracy requires constant care. America had survived its first great existential crisis, tempered by conflict and tested by ideals. But it had emerged stronger, capable of enduring, learning, and growing. The Gilded Age and early 20th century. The nation entered a new era. Cities rose like mountains of steel and stone. Factories poured smoke into the skies. Immigrants arrived in waves seeking opportunity and fleeing oppression. Railroads and telegraphs shrank distances, connecting people, economies, and ideas. Yet with progress came disparity. Wealth and poverty existed side by side, innovation shadowed by labor struggles, prosperity marred by inequality. The United States stepped onto the world stage during World War I, testing its resolve beyond its borders. The 1929 stock market crash shattered lives, plunging millions into despair. Bread lines and soup kitchens became grim symbols of hardship, yet the American spirit endured. World War II marked a turning point. From the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific, Americans fought with courage, sacrifice, and resilience. Factories churned out tanks, planes, and weapons at a staggering pace. Innovation became survival. By 1945, the United States emerged as a global superpower, its influence extending not just through military might, but through ideas, industry, and the promise of liberty. The Cold War era. The decades that followed were defined by tension, uncertainty, and a test of values. The Cold War loomed over the world, a standoff between nuclear powers. Fear of annihilation coexisted with the exhilaration of possibility. Space exploration, technological breakthroughs, and the push to innovate. At home, the struggle for civil rights reshaped society. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and countless others demanded that America live up to its ideals. Their courage challenged the nation to confront its contradictions, to expand the promise of freedom to all. America reached for the stars literally and metaphorically. Men walked on the moon, symbols of hope and human ingenuity. Yet the nation also faced war, protest, and introspection, learning that leadership requires both vision and humility. Modern America. The late 20th and early 21st centuries ushered in a digital revolution. Computers, the internet, and smartphones transformed how people live, work, and connect. America became a hub of innovation, shaping culture, commerce, and ideas across the globe. Yet the nation faced profound challenges. September 11, 2001, brought fear, grief, and unity, reshaping identity, security, and foreign policy. Wars abroad tested resolve, while crises at home demanded adaptation and reflection. The 21st century has brought unprecedented change. Economic uncertainty, social upheaval, climate challenges, political polarization, and the rise of artificial intelligence. Daily life has evolved in ways unimaginable to previous generations. And yet, the central questions endure. What kind of nation will we be? What kind of future will we choose to create? Reflection and the future. The United States is always a work in progress, a nation of triumphs and contradictions, of courage and reflection. From the first settlers to the digital age, its story is defined by the pursuit of ideals, by the willingness to struggle, to learn, and to grow. History teaches us that progress is rarely straight or simple. It is shaped by ideas, by courage, by failures, and by the quiet choices of ordinary people. From the forests of Jamestown to the skyscrapers of New York, from the moon landing to the AI revolution, the journey continues. And so, the story of America is still being written, by each citizen, each idea, each generation. From colonies to superpower, it is a story of humanity itself, of dreams pursued, battles fought, and the endless striving for a better future. The journey of this nation is far from complete, but its past illuminates its path, reminding us that even in imperfection, courage, resilience, and hope endure. And in the hands of those willing to dream, the story continues, forever evolving, forever inspiring.